Going live, and you are live. What's going on, everybody? RogersBase here. Hello and welcome to a very special Anime Expo weekend reaction to One Piece manga chapter 1187. I want to get right into this one. I've managed to dodge spoilers all weekend. Big reason for that is, again, I have been extremely busy on the back end. You guys know last week I was just at EVO. This week is Anime Expo. All in the middle of this week, I've been recording some stuff that you'll see a little bit later in the month. It's been a whirlwind of the past like 72 hours, but we're here now. Let's get started. One Piece manga chapter 1187. This one is called The Root of the Problem. I already like this because we got Reiju on the front. Reiju scolding naughty swans and protecting the ugly duckling by Nabobobo D420 land. All right, there's a lot to break down here. First and foremost. All right, first, I love the suggestion. I love little Ichiji and Niji with the bumps on their head. Little Yonji with this duck bill down on the bottom. They all have their swirly eyebrows. I love the judge one holding on to the stick. Reiju pointing, holding the little Sanji one. I love this already. But can we talk about the name? Nabobobo Bobobobo D420 land. What in the... First off, how did that get through? I guess they were like, if we're going to take your idea for the cover story, then I guess we just have to credit you properly. But still in all, I love this one. So also, I love what Reiju's wearing. I love that cute little, whatever that is, that sweater dress that she's wearing. Look at poor Sanji in the front, too, with his little, his little ugly duckling bumps. Yeah, that is very cute. Also, I imagine that is what Judge would look like if he ate Big News Morgan's fruit over there. I guess technically Big News Morgan's is an albatross. He's not a swan, but still. I feel like seeing these bird forms of all the characters, I love it. All right, let's get into it. 1187. We are picking up right where we left off. Luffy punching Emu in the face. You can see Loki going, oh, making a thumbnail reaction as you see the blood coming out of Emu's nose. Love this great action shot there as well, with the Conqueror's Haki emanating off of the punch. You can see him flying backwards, flying through the trees. Okay, Emu's down there. You can see he's already flipping up the omens. He's got the circles at the ready. And you can see two little omens flying through the sky as you see kablam! Giant impact on the other side of the trees. Very, very nice. Also, that exact angle of Luffy face that you see on page 2, I am pretty sure we've seen in multiple other panels before. That exact angle, that exact shot. The only difference is he has the Viking hat on this time. So you got Loki saying, that was a pretty good shot, I'll admit it. But it only happened because of all the damage that I put on him first. And he says, hey, you're really hurt. Come on, step back and rest a bit. I mean, he's not that hurt. He's hurt, but I feel like he could keep going. We're going to need all the help we can get, Luffy. And you can see him going, rest. Who do you think you're talking to here? That's what I like to see, Loki, is the little omen is getting trapped on Luffy's shoulder. You can see Luffy going, whoa. And then there's another one landing on Loki. And he's wheezing a little bit. I guess he is leaking. You can see him bleeding from the mouth and bleeding from the nose. Saying, little punk. Huh? As the little omen is popping off the side. Okay. Ow, 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 ow. Huh? It's hot. I mean, it really stings. What is this little black flame? And you can see him huffing and puffing in the back. He looks way scary up close. And then you got Emu making another one. Erupting. We're supposed to go get his chest, where the sword was stuck. Yeah? Okay, and the flames are spreading and they're able to talk to each other. Interesting. Damn it. The flames keep on spreading. Go, go, go. And you can see them all running into where the blade was. Blade of hatred. Stigma. Okay, and you've got one of the omen bells ringing. Very, very good. What is this? Luffy's running off to the sky. You can see Loki holding him down. Wait, what is actually happening here? These flames keep spreading. Okay, you see him with the bell. Loki's standing there. Luffy sees this, runs around. Is that coming out of Loki's back? Are the flames coming out of there? Because you could see the little flames sticking in where the wound was. And now you get the giant impact coming out of the other side, connecting with the blade on the bottom. Yo! Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. I mean, that is an awesome looking shot. And again, you realize just how big that sword is when Loki is towering over these forests, getting slammed. See, I was reading it in order. I didn't see the bottom panel where you see the giant sword. I was reading it from the top. I didn't quite understand what was happening. And I look down and I see erupting. Okay. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. He's attacking. Okay. What is going on with this thing? It won't even budge. And nothing works on it. Oh, and they're going back to where we were with Gunko as well. Okay, trying to break the ice. With Jinbei saying nothing works on this. Is that not ice after all? I mean, what if it's actually diamond or something? And you can see Nami freaking out going, diamond? Diamond ice cubes? If it's anything but ice, the woman inside has definitely suffocated. Huh? And you can see Brooke holding on to it. You can see her scolding Usopp, being like, don't say that, dummy. If I touch it, it feels cold. Or at least I imagine it would. You can't tell? I mean, he's a skeleton. What do you mean? He has no nerve endings. What are you talking about? He's actually got a point. If I touch it, I can't tell either. Oh, and Frankie. That's a good little gag, actually. That's really funny. Because Frankie's, of course, got the cyborg arms. Enough of the non-humans. Yes, it's cold. Come on. That's cute. That's a nice way to throw a gag in the middle of all this. I like this. Now look out behind you. Okay. Oh, and Loki slamming onto the ice. Getting thrown back from the blade attack. Nice way to bring everybody together, by the way, too. Very, very good. Throwing Loki all the way over here. You can see the ice cube there. Loki. What? Look out. His hammer's coming down. Okay. And you can see the hammer flying right at Nami. She's got to get out of the way. Whoa, 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 whoa. Huh? Did he just go down? He got stabbed right through the chest. And you can see the hammer pinging right off of it. It gets a little bonk right on the top and flies the other direction. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, it worked. So actually this worked in our favor. Because he had the omen sting and he's got the hammer. This actually works out well. Okay. Wow, they didn't even have to do anything. They won just by literally doing nothing. Hammer bounces off. They go, huh? Did he just go down? He got stabbed through the chest. Okay. And Loki's blupping up a little bit. Little Ragnar's screaming as well. Oh, look, everyone. Whoa. The ice has suddenly begun to melt. Princess Shuri. All right, and she's going to come out of it. You can see nice little, looks almost like candle wax right there, too. Wow. Okay. The ice has suddenly begun to melt. Princess Shuri. And Luffy's grabbing onto it. Whoa! As you get the little bell ringing once again. And Luffy sees to the side and he's trying to grab the flames. Throws them right off. Okay. Oh, he's making another one. Not going to work. You can see him dodging right past him. Doom, da, da, doom, da, doom, da. Drums of liberation. They're coming. Here we go. Throwing off his little cape. Let's go. Thankfully, it didn't permeate onto his body like it did with Loki, because that would have been a big problem. Okay. It's also always funny to see Ragnar. Whenever I see him pop out of that form, it's a hammer. It's just funny to see him interacting with everybody. But all right, Luffy, let's get serious. So he misses the blade, throws off the cape. Drums of liberation are starting. Oh, and we're okay. We're jumping right away from it. Okay. Western Village, Sea Cloud Port. The school library, the Western Village, the branch route, and the port. Team Zoro. Now, what are you doing here? You're one of the 3 demons. Straw Hat Crew, huh? You were in the village earlier. Well, what do you want? You're going to get hurt here. You're the ones who ruined a feast between good old friends. All right, so you got a little back and forth between Summers and Zoro. Actually, very cool looking shot of the two of them meeting each other on the bottom of page 10. That looks very reminiscent to something like Skypiea, doesn't it? So you're the ones who ruined a feast between good old friends. So, forget about it. It's just 10 or 20 kids, that's all. My companion will be retrieving the brats in no time, and we'll be out of your hair, no fuss. Uh-huh. Fancy that. My companion just went towards the village, and my guess is that yours ain't coming back. I like to see this. Zoro gassing up Sanji? Okay. Okay. I like this. Normally, Zoro's the one picking on him, but he said, no. Killingham's the one who's going down. And you got him saying, mind if I ask why? Because he'll be dead. You think Sanji is going to kill him? And yet Summer's going back. Do you have any idea how on top of our game we are? I mean, they got their omen, but they're going to be good. You got this. Let's go. You can see him throwing the little needles down, okay? Zoro blocking one of them. Light work. He's got this. I think Sanji's got this as well, because we saw Sanji beat Killingham previously. Obviously, this is pre-omen, but I think the two of them got this. We got it. Over in the western village, the rain was pouring down as though the sky itself had cracked in half. Okay, let's cover the facts now. Oh, and see, this is going to be bad, right? Because, of course, Sanji won't hit Zaza. We got another one of these situations. Problem 1, a monster bigger than the giants is taking away the kids. He's lighting up a cigarette in the middle of all this. Response, unfortunately, I won't be saving the kids. What in the world? Well, you got to stop him. Problem 2, their wailing mothers are an unbearable sight. But unfortunately, the monster is a woman. I can't kick her, bro. He says added note. Sanji's pulling off a translator's note here. Come on, dude. Come on. Added note. The giant warriors refuse to give up on taking back their children. Okay. Ripley. Damn it, don't take him away from me. Colin. Mommy, I'm sorry I got caught again. But problem 3, I don't want to see a woman's tears. However, I won't take part in that fight. Because what? I'm assuming if you beat Killingham, you're able to send Zaza away. And I'm assuming that Sanji has figured that out. Is my guess. That's the conclusion he's coming to. He's like, if I can't hit the giant woman, I don't want to see the other people cry. I don't want to see the children lose. I don't want to watch the other women cry. I just got to take out Killingham. I'm sure. There you go. Yeah. Flip right into it. Kicking Killingham in the face. You're the root of the problem. The giants might lose sight of you, but you can't escape from me. Where did he even come from, by the way? Sanji was going through all that dialogue. Was he even there? Was he talking to him that whole time? And then you can see Killingham out of nowhere, just blocking it with the trident. You're the root of the problem. The giants might lose sight of you, but you can't escape from me. You can see Killingham saying, you're tougher than you look. But don't worry, I'm putting a stop to all of this. You fool. There is an entire world of difference between toughness and immortality. And that is why you cannot beat me. Because even if getting rid of me means that my powers will vanish, I suppose. So go on in and try it. Can you truly eliminate the god of rain? I read the top part wrong. Where he said, onward my blustery deity. I thought Killingham was pulling a Sanji. I thought it said, onward my busty deity. Take those brats away. No, it said blustery, which makes sense. Obviously, she's, god of the storms and all that stuff. Okay, I get it. But I figured that was what he would say to Sanji. But you can see, ooh, very scary over here. Well. I know what you people are weak against. Hello? What an amusing thing to say. Are you... Oh! Dude, I've been saying this, though. What did I say in my prediction video at the beginning of the year? What did I say to Bogart Guy back at Anime Expo last year? What have I been telling people for years on end? Nah, you're wrong. Sanji won't get Conqueror's Haki. Yes, he will. Oda would never do that. Roger, you write your own story. Shut your ass up. I've been saying this for years. 4 years. I'm telling you, willy-nilly, we're getting to the end of the series. People are going to unlock Conqueror's Haki. We are one step closer to that fight that I have been saying at the end of the series when we got Zoro versus Mihawk. We're going to have Crocodile versus Sanji. Both of them have Conqueror's Haki. It's going to happen. No, there's no way. He's not going to give the boost. Shut up. I was right. You were wrong. Eat crow. I'm going to go in the comment section of you better delete your comments now. I will tell you right now, I am going to go in the comment section of every single video where people were sending me death threats, where people were being annoying, where people were being bratty just because I said that Sanji was going to have Conqueror's Haki. Every single video, bro. I'm going to go to every single one. I am going to out all of you. I'm going to do a whole video showing every dumb person who argued with me for years that I was wrong about this. Every single person. You are all getting clapped live in a video. You better delete your comments, change your names right now, because I'm telling you, I'm outing all of you idiots. You're done. It's over. I have been saying this for years, bro. And people have been dogging on me, saying I don't know the story. Oh, I'm telling you, bro. What did I say? What did I say? Never doubt me. I see someone in the chat saying, never doubt me. Never doubt me, bro. Never doubt me. I have been saying this. So you can use the color of the Supreme King. Go on and kill me if you can. I'm telling you. I said Sanji's Haki's gonna bloom in Elbeth. I said Sanji was going to figure out that he has Conqueror's Haki within himself. I'm saying this, man. Thank goodness, bro. Thank goodness we are finally done with this. Thank goodness. Oh my God. This has been, I'm telling you, I'm sorry to go off on a tangent. This has been the bane of my existence for like 4 years. I've been talking about this since Whole Cake Island. And people were like, no, no, no. And then the second Zoro got Conqueror's Haki, I was like, Sanji's gonna get it. People, and all the Zoro stands were like, there's no way, man. No way, they're not on even playing fields. Yes, they are, bro. Yes, they are. Oda is going to do what he wants to do to make it so that Zoro and Sanji are always on an even playing field. No matter what people say, no matter how they try to cry and moan about it, it's how Oda writes the story, bro. He's been saying this. We know this. They are on the same level. It is what you even had Zoro in the same chapter gassing him out, bro. I'm telling you. Good. Use the color of Spring Hoppy. Good. Let's go. I'm not even joking, by the way. I really am going to go through the comments of every single video. I'm going to type in Sanji Haki on my YouTube studio. I'm going to pull up every single name, and I'm going to turn it into a whole big video, and every single person is going to get wiped. Finally, man. Good stuff. Go on and kill me if you can. Well, you got him showing how he unlocked it. How do you expect to support your captain, who's an emperor of the sea? And this is going back to when, oh, this is good, was Zoro and Sanji and Scopper? Huh? Gramps, what about me? Can I use Supreme King's Haki? Well, you should have the potential for it right there, bro. Really? However, in your case, for some reason, interesting, you possess a streak of masochistic instability. You need to become a king too if you truly want to make Luffy. Oh, that's an awesome panel, by the way. If you truly want to make Luffy king of the pirates, you must become a king too. What is Sanji going to become the king of? The king of the cooks? The king of the chefs? The king of gourmet? There's any number of things. He could be the greatest. He could be the king of gourmets. That's easy. If Zoro's going to be the world's greatest swordsman, he's the world's greatest chef. Easy. You got your answer right there, Sanji. You got it. It's happening. Bro, it's happening. Oh, I feel so vindicated, man. I really feel so vindicated after this chapter, dude. Oh, finally, man. Finally. So he's just got to figure out what he's the king of before it actually fully blooms during the battle. But that's good, dude. I mean, this is literally how I expected it was going to happen. Because him saying during that chapter, whatever that was, like a year ago, when we saw that conversation between Scopper and Zoro, where he was like, you could have it. This is it. He's going to be king of the gourmets or something. I'm telling you right now. Thank goodness. Or king of the ladies. I could see king of love. Something like that. Especially when, see, I'll talk about it in my review. But I'm going to talk about it in my review. I got to bring it down a little bit. I'm just very hyped. I've been waiting for so long for this. I'm so happy it's finally happening. Thank goodness, man. We'll talk about it. We'll speculate. We'll get to it. Great. Great. And now I know for like 3 more weeks, you're going to have a bunch of idiots going, well, he hasn't unlocked it yet. You shut up. All right. He does. Oda's writing this. Could you imagine if Oda wrote this story and hyped up Sanji unlocking Conqueror's Haki, and then he needs to discover what he's the king of, and then at the end of the day, he doesn't unlock it? How angry people would be. Look, I honestly wouldn't even hate that. That would be funny. Because then people could clip this and I could make content out of that too. Either way, I'm winning. Either way, dollars are coming into my pocket today. This is great. All right. This is so funny though. Dude, let me finish the chapter first. Hold on. You must be a king too if you truly want Luffy to become king of the pirates. There thou art, Joy Boy. Great shot. Saint Nerona Emu, the king of the world, versus Emperor of the Sea, Monkey D. Luffy. Great panel there. And you say, Luffy going, quit calling me all these different names. I'm Luffy. Kaizoku Oni. Ore wa Naru. Let's go. I am the man who will become king of the pirates. To be continued. One Piece manga chapter 1187. End, bro. Beautiful. No notes. Review time, 10 out of 10. Get it out of there. It's fine. Number doesn't matter this week because Sanji has Conqueror's Haki. That's my review. Done. We're on to Super Chats. Just kidding. I want to talk about the chapter a little bit. What I want to bring up, okay, real quick, before I'm sure the topic of conversation is going to be this Sanji and Zoro thing. Thank you, by the way, to Shard Pop for gifting 10 memberships. Greatly appreciate it. You guys also said there's no break next week. Love to see it. Love to see it. Thank you very, very much for all that. All right. Couple things I want to note first. One of the things I was going to mention earlier with the Sanji versus Killingham, Summers versus Zoro thing, right? Summers obviously has the sword and he's got the thorn whips and all that kind of stuff. But when we were going through the early parts of the story arc, I really did not think Summers was going to be Zoro's opponent. Because Summers, his whole thing is like passion, right? He was seen as like a ladies' man back in the day. I almost thought that would be the opponent for Sanji. So the fact that he's kind of turning this on his head, I like it. I like the fact that he's going against Zoro. And I love that Zoro, once again, is hyping up Sanji. Because again, you see this time and time again with One Piece, where Zoro and Sanji are dogging on each other. But at the end of the day, they're like brothers. At the end of the day, of course, they're going to hype each other up. Of course, at the end of the day, they want what's best for each other. So I love this. This little interaction is given so much fodder to people who just like to see them being friends. He even starts it off saying, you're the ones who ruined a feast between good old friends. And then he says, fancy that, my companion went towards the village. Yours ain't coming back because he'll be dead. Hyping up Sanji like that. I love it. And again, having this pair, having Zoro and Sanji take on Summers and Killingham. I even brought this up during that panel with Summers and Zoro. It feels like classic One Piece. I feel like this has been a theme throughout the entirety of Elbaf, which I've had this conversation with, I can't even tell you how many creators over the course of this weekend, of people being like, I really do feel like the One Piece fandom is kind of in a lull right now, where there's more people into One Piece now than have ever been into One Piece before because of the live action, because of all the casual stuff like the TCG. You know, there's a lot of people are getting into One Piece now for the first time. Obviously, there was a giant boom during Wano Country of people who caught up to the manga, but now we're seeing a giant boom of people who are catching up now because of the live action, who are interested in the One Piece. I already did a whole video about that and why I don't think it's going to end up being what people think it's going to be. But regardless, it's like, we're in an era where we have so many One Piece fans, but I feel like the people who are the most vocal aren't like super, and it's a very vocal minority, admittedly, but it's like they're not super into the manga. I feel like all the stuff that was going on with Brooks' flashback, even some of the stuff earlier on in Elbaf, the good story points, I feel like we're at a lull with the manga fandom. You know what? Which I think is weird when you look at the overall fandom. And I'm almost wondering if this is then going to like bring people back in. First off, I'm shocked, truly shocked this was not spoiled for me this week. Because that is like, many of you remember the story I have told on multiple times of the guy that sent the fake brand deal to my YouTube account saying, oh, by the way, Zoro has Conqueror's Haki at the end of the whole thing, who spoiled me on the Zoro's Conqueror's Haki thing. I am shocked and relieved that did not happen. I know why it didn't happen. That guy's off the face of the earth, so that's why he didn't spoil me again. But regardless, I'm happy that it didn't happen. I'm very happy that did not happen at all, you know. Also, I totally agree. The irony of people complaining about the lack of focus on Straw Hats and then switching up and saying the story was falling off when Brook flashback happened. That's what I'm saying. And it's like, I feel like the people who are super into the Straw Hats are into Zoro, Sanji, Nami, Luffy, you know, Nami, and Usopp. I feel like the original East Blue Five, and some choppers right there. But I think once you get into stuff with Brook, with Jinbei, Robin too, I think, to be fair. But like Brook and Jinbei, a lot of the later Straw Hats, I do feel like people just don't care about them as much. Whereas those of us that are like old heads who have been reading this for so long are excited to finally see this stuff, you know, fleshed out within the story. So now I feel like this chapter is going to be a turning point, if I had to guess. I feel like Sanji unlocking Conqueror's Haki within himself is absolutely going to be something that I think people who fell off of the manga in the last like year and a half, pretty much like ever since the end of God Valley, I feel like the manga's been at a lull. Not for me, I've been loving it, but I think in the overall general fandom, I certainly have not seen people talking about the manga as much. I've even seen it in terms of viewership. I feel like live viewership has been down overall. Again, I had this conversation with a bunch of other content creators. I feel like there's a lot of people right now wondering like what's going on. And I know there's a multitude of different reasons as to why, but I do feel like this is the most casual coded hype thing that I could easily see bringing people back into the manga. You know what I mean? I love this. I mean, I love this. I think the way they did it is great. I loved this little conversation that Sanji had about Zaza and like him being like, look, I'm not going to attack a giant woman. I don't want to see the women cry, but I know you're the one behind it. I love, again, him, Killingham saying, can you use Conqueror's Haki? Go on and kill me if you can. And then going back to that thought and Sanji being like, I know it's within me. What do I have to declare I'm the king of? I love it. Love it, love it. Again, if I had to guess, I feel like Sanji is going to declare himself king of the gourmets or like king of the chefs. Something like that. Like that. Because when you think about like, what is Zoro? Zoro's the world's greatest swordsman. He has Conqueror's Haki because he has the determination to become the king of all swordsmen, right? The world's greatest swordsman. Sanji wants to cook with all the ingredients in the all blue. So to me, him being the king of the chefs makes sense. I see some people saying maybe the king of the heavens because Zoro is the king of hell. No. He calls himself, okay, this, I actually heavily disagree with this. Zoro calls himself the king of hell. Zoro is, his Conqueror's Haki, as cool as that sounds, is not emanating from the powers of hell. It's not. It's straight up not. He has Conqueror's Haki because he wants to be the world's greatest swordsman. That is like such an aura farming title. He is not like literally the king of hell. If he was the king of hell, when we got all that stuff with the Grim Reaper, he would be in hell. He wouldn't be here. You know what I mean? To me, it's not like you're literally a king of something. I think this is the thing that like people don't consider when talking about Conqueror's Haki, that I've been talking about till I've been blue in the face for years now, right? Is that like, it is not that you are a literal king. It is that you have the desire to be the greatest at something, right? He said, I will become the king of hell. Right. But again, he is not the king of hell. He is the world. He is going to be the world's greatest swordsman. You can make the argument that Enma is the king of hell. Sure. But the title does not matter. What matters is at the end of the day, you have the desire to be the greatest at something, which is what unlocks it within yourself, which is why it's important that you note what Gabon said to him here, where he says you should have the potential to use Supreme King's Haki, but in your case, you possess a streak of masochistic instability. You need to become a king too if you want to make Luffy king of the pirates. You think about everything that Sanji has been through, right? Think about literally everything that he has been through. You think about the fact that like he was experimented on. He's the son of Judge. He went through all this stuff with Whole Cake. He had, it's everything. All this stuff with Baratier. It's everything. So yeah, I genuinely feel like It's just him wondering what he's going to be the greatest at or what he desires to be the greatest at. Now, obviously, if he wants to be the world's greatest ladies man, that could be it too. He could do any number of things. And you can pair that if I do think it would be a little cringe, if I'm being completely honest, if he calls himself the king of the heavens after Zoro has called himself the king of hell. I think that's a little cringy to me. I don't want it to be that. I would be fine with that if that is how he declares himself, because I guess he has heard Zoro say that, but I don't know. That seems like a little cringy to me. But I guess we've heard him say in the past when talking about beautiful women that like, oh, I feel like I'm in heaven right now. So if he wanted to be like the king of all the ladies men, I could see him wording it as like the king of the heavens. But I do think, yeah, I agree with Beatrix. I think it's a little corny if he did that. King of love even, I think, would be better than the king of the heavens. You know what I mean? Like, I don't... Because, again, I don't know. Unless we get a twist on what we got with Zoro, where he climbed back from hell and took on the Grim Reaper or whatever. We still didn't get the explanation for that fully. But if we get an alternate of that, where maybe Killingham kills Sanji and his soul leaves his body and he dreams of beautiful women and his soul gets sucked back in and he's like, oh, I'm now the king of heaven, and he grows angel wings made of fire or something. Maybe, I don't know. I don't think that's going to be what it is though. Again, I think his desire to be a great chef and to be there for Luffy, I think is enough. I don't know. Again, I don't know. His title, I still think it's going to be like King of the Gourmets, but I see where chat is coming from with like the King of the Heavens thing. I just personally think it would be cringy. Either way, am I happy that Sanji finally is unlocking Conqueror's Haki? Yes. That's all it is. I like it. I also love this final panel right here with Luffy and Emu and them setting it up as like the versus panel. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Heaven is seen as a place of love for whatever it's worth. True. Again, it's true. That's true. I'm not discounting it. I'm not discounting Chad. If he ends up being the king of the heavens, that's fine. He was the king of the Kamabaka. Well, I mean, look, he was training with Ivankov all that time. It could be any number of things. I'm happy the day finally came so we could stop arguing about this stupid nonsense. This has been just, I can't even explain to you as a content creator who has been doing this for so long and who's much more interested in the story of One Piece versus power scaling, how annoying it has been for years for people to talk about, no, Zoro and Sanji aren't on the same level, blah, 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 blah. It's like they are. You're going to see it. It's going to happen, man. I'm so happy that it's finally happening. All right, great. Real quick, one other thing I want to bring up. I want to go on over here. First off, I love the fact that they already melted the ice with Ragnar. Super easy way out of that situation. I think great way to also speed things up because I could see a world in which that would have gone on for a couple chapters. So I liked that. I loved the blade attack as well. I thought the blade attack was really cool earlier in the chapter. I also really loved the little bit with the ice. I thought the bit with them touching the ice with Brooke and with Frankie and neither of them having nerve endings and not being able to tell if it's cold or not was extremely funny. And I think throwing that in the middle of all this other hype, I think was great. You got to get a little bit of goofy humor in there for One Piece if you want to have a good overall chapter. I loved that portion. And again, this fight at the beginning, picking up right where it left off with Luffy punching Emu, going right into it. Again, seeing the Conqueror's Haki coming off of that punch, leading into what we got in the end of the chapter. Seeing Loki and these flames, these omen flames. Like, I am very worried about what Oda is going to do with the omen powers. Because it does kind of feel like he could do whatever he wants. That's it. Yeah. I feel like you get the little bells ringing with the omen. You can see the blade flying backwards. You can see the little flames spreading on the side. It's great, man. It's great. But again, I feel like he could do anything with these flames. I think if you can create an image with a flame, Emu can probably conjure it, is what I'm taking from this and from all the other chapters we've seen of Emu so far. Which I also think is a really good attack set to pair against Luffy when Luffy's got the most ridiculous power in the world, right? Because realistically, knowing what we know about Gear 5, Luffy should be able to just grab these flames, tie him into a bow, and hang Emu with it. You know what I mean? He can do whatever he wants. That's kind of the beauty of Emu's power paired with Luffy's like Looney Tunes powers now with Gear 5. Dude, I love this, man. I love this. I like that we're not waiting any longer. I like that we're just getting right into it. I like that we're officially into the main 3 fights, because this says to me now we are actually getting close to the end of Elbaf. I think for a while there it was kind of difficult to predict because we had God Valley, we had the Brook flashback, but like all of the pieces are now in place for the final fights of the arc. Luffy is now fighting Emu. Summers is fighting Zoro. Sanji's fighting Killingham. Brook and the rest of the squad is there with Shuri. Something can flip, obviously. Shuri turns. Or again, Emu takes over, and then we end up getting a whole nother thing with them. But I do feel like where we are now, things are moving forward at a nice pace. Now, whether or not Luffy actually wins this fight, and this drags on for another one, has yet to be seen. But technically, hasn't he already lost 3? Oh, no, I guess not, because Emu came in, wiped him, he ate the food, came back. So this is like his second fight with Emu. And normally there's 3 with Luffy. That is true. So maybe he does lose here. Or maybe he lose. But again, this has been a weirdly laid out arc anyway. He doesn't necessarily need to even win this fight. He needs to stall out Emu to the point where Emu needs to go back to Marijoa because he's run out of stamina. Which I think is also cool because it's like reversing what we normally get with these story arcs. Normally what we get is Luffy tires out, has to unlock a new ability, leaves for a little bit, we get some type of timer, then he comes back. But Emu is the one who's on the clock right now. The Gorosei mentioned this all the way back at the very beginning. We essentially need to get to the point where Luffy can have a stalemate. Exactly. I mean, I think this ending in a draw would be awesome, because then it shows a little bit of Emu's power, but because he's not on his home turf, he's not able to do everything he could normally do, which allows us to see another power jump for him once we get to Final War. It allows them to get out of this situation, gives Zoro and Sanji the opportunity to really show off what they can do with their conquerors, and then we move into the final story saga. Or the final story arc, I mean, to be fair. Because we are in this final story saga. We're already too deep into the final story saga. We're Elbaf and Egghead. I'm loving it, man. Yeah, I love this. This is an awesome chapter. Very good. Again, it felt like classic pre-time skip One Piece. You'll love to see it. Love to see it, man. Great chapter overall. Again, I also need to point out, I feel like we don't talk about this enough, how beautiful Oda's artwork is when it comes to this stuff with Zaza. Like, I feel like all the stuff with the rain, the shading on the water, the detail of, like, the kids drowning inside of the hands, the reflection coming off of the water as well. Every single one of those panels is supremely cool looking. And I can't wait to see this in the anime because I'm curious what they're going to do. I'm assuming Zaza is going to be, like, light blue and you're going to have the rainstorm going. But I feel like Sanji, dude, I see it now. Like Sanji laying there in the rain, thinking of everything he's been through over all the other story arcs, thinking back to him lighting the cigarette in the rain with pudding, and then like unlocking his... It's going to be good, man. It's going to be good. I'm telling you. When we get to the actual moment where he unlocks it, it's going to be good. I love this. Love this. I love this. I'm getting chills. I'm genuinely getting super excited. I can't wait. I'm happy we're finally here. And again, I like the Zoro Summers pairing. I think we talked about it very briefly, but I think him having this fight against somebody with thorns and armament hockey just kind of makes sense for him. It seems like a good fight for Zoro. And they just look, like looking at that page, that's a nicely paired couple of characters right there. I love it. Because Summers, honestly... Even if you do want to get back into the power scaling thing, I do feel like Summers could probably take on Killingham. I feel like he is slightly stronger, but just slightly. Then again, though, Killingham created the thing that scared Summers, which was Zaza. So I don't know. But I do also really like the fact that Killingham in this chapter just outright says, hey, by the way, our weakness is Conqueror's Hockey. Like, I think that's great. Because remember for a while, we were like, how do you end up beating them? We don't know. And then Scopper ends up cutting off the hand of Summers for that little bit. I like that it's just very clear as day. It's Conqueror's Hockey. We don't have to speculate about it anymore. It is what it is, you know? Where are the other dream monsters? A lot of them were taken out, remember? We had chapters after chapters of those dream monsters getting taken out. I think the fact that the other dream monsters got taken out is the reason why he resorted to Zaza, you know? Because he didn't want to use Zaza. Summers was even like, are you really going to unlock this right now? Like, this is our worst nightmare. That's the whole thing, is this is the nightmare of the Celestial Dragons. It's because all the other ones got taken out. We saw the one where Frankie had the cola and took out the other one. We've been seeing the other dream monsters go down one by another. So I'm glad that, again, it's focused on one fight. And I like the backdrop of Sanji and Killingham fighting around the village with the centerpiece in the middle being Zaza kidnapping the kids. I almost feel like if we ever got a One Piece Smash Brothers one day, the village of Elbaf in the rain with Zaza in the background would make for a sick stage. Not that we're ever going to get One Piece Smash Brothers. As much as I would want it, I do feel like it would make for a cool stage. Yeah. Well, we got to see what James did for the thumbnail. I'm assuming it's going to have to be Sanji. If it's not Sanji, I would be shocked. Considering how much James likes Sanji, I like Sanji. Let's see what it's going to be. Let's see. Pull this on over here. James thumbnail. Let's see this. Oh, no. Oh, okay. This is interesting. Wait a minute. We're going to come on over to the other screen. Wait a minute over here. Hold on. Primary display. Boom. He gave me 4. What is this? Hold on. So this is the thumb. Oh, this is actually really nice, though. This is really nice. We're getting Emu versus Luffy. Very, very beautiful. Love this. Emu versus Luffy with the little verses in the bottom. Love to see that. Great shading, by the way, there, too. Really nice. Now, what is this other one? He gave me an option without the verses. I actually kind of like the verses. I think that's going to get a lot of people to click on it. I like this a lot. You got Emu versus Luffy. You got another one with the two of them. He just gave me the blank verses for when I'm making the thumbnail. Okay. What is this? He sketched where I was going to be within the thumbnail. Okay. He gave a little example. He's like, when you place yourself in the thumbnail, this is where you should place yourself. That's funny. No, I love this, man. I think this looks really good. I like the colors he used for this. It looks a little bit like it's ripped off of an old scroll or something like that. It's a little bit muted. It's got the nice, like, natural shading of the skins. I also like that he's doubling down on Emu being red. Because I don't think we've gotten the full official color scheme for Emu yet, right? But honestly, James has been killing it with these color schemes. Time and time again, he's getting them right. But I do feel like I agree that he's going to be red. I think if he's going to be a devil, it would make sense that he ends up being red. I like the little purple spots too. Dude, I love this. Again, it's basic. I also think it's probably smart that he didn't spoil the Sanji thing. Because I feel like people, if I manage to remain unspoiled, I would also like to not spoil people on the Sanji thing. Where I could very easily just be like, hey, it's Emu versus Luffy. One and done. People hop into the chapter and then get surprised by the Sanji thing. Also, because then he could save the Sanji thing for when we actually get into stuff when Sanji fully unlocks it. So I like it. Yeah, beautiful, man. Well done, James. Well done. Really, really nice this week. Yeah, I love that. Great. Well, sweet. Well done, James. Beautiful. I want to read some of these super chats real quick. If you will, I'm just going to keep this on screen while I'm reading some of these super chats. Sylvan said, I wonder if he's going to be even less red than that, or it's going to be darker, almost like King and Lunarians. Maybe. I mean, he could be. I think maybe once we get the official color scheme and we get that, if he looks similar to King, we could maybe have a whole conversation about the Lunarians. Maybe. That's true. All right, let's get into this. Let's see. See what people were super chatting. Let's see. Here we go. Let's see. We got a super chat from Roberto, who said, I haven't been this happy with a One Piece chapter because of Sanji since I found out that Rox is the father of Blackbeard. Really? I mean, there have been a lot of good chapters since then. I think the Rox Blackbeard reveal was cool. I don't know if I would have said that was like the best one. Beatrix says, I think Emu has purple skin. Yeah. Lax said, if you were to not like James's weekly thumbnails, how would you tell him? By saying it live on stream. Go back to the one where he did that first emu thumbnail. I hated that one. And then he fixed it. That's it. James is cool. James could take it. To be fair, though, he's been knocking out really, really good ones recently. Yeah. Rob said, I remember that chapter. Exactly. Yeah. I just bring it up during the stream if I don't like it, because then he redoes it before we actually put it up. Or the Lilith one, too. Remember the Lilith one? Where he did Lilith looking like she had a flesh suit and it looked like she was naked on the thumbnail? Clack said he does literally just straight up tell him. I know, that's kind of the best way to do it. How is he going to learn otherwise? Yeah. No, I love this one. I think this one is great. I also like that he took me into consideration for the thumbnail. I like this. That he drew the little example of where I should be. Yeah, that's beautiful, man. Very, very nice. Let's see. What's going on with these super chats? Let's see. We got Degenerate saying, my guess is that Killingham will spawn Nightmare Germa and fights against them will help Sanji heal from his self-doubt and insecurity as royalty and the left wing of the King of Heaven or Love to unlock conquerors. I was about to say, how would he know about the stuff with Germa? But then I'm assuming that, he is part of the world government. They probably do get newspapers. They probably found out what happened at Whole Cake Island. That would actually be really interesting if he creates Nightmare, Ichiji, Niji, and Yonji, and Judge for Sanji to fight. Especially considering the front cover of this chapter was the ugly duckling thing. I kind of like that. That's actually a pretty neat idea. I like that a lot. Thank you again for Shard Pop for the 10 gift memberships. We got Canadis 311 saying, do you think Killingham will use his powers to bring out Sanji's nightmare? Wow, a lot of people super chatting with the same thing this week. Saying, do you think Killingham will use his powers to bring out Sanji's nightmares, aka his family, during this fight? Love that concept. I'm assuming a lot of other content creators talked about this earlier in the week, bringing this up, because I'm looking already, we have 3 of these. We have 3 different donations all about Killingham and Sanji's nightmares down at the bottom of the chat. But yeah, chat is saying he doesn't really need to know. He will get the nightmares from the person's dreams. What's he going to do? Knock him out? Knock him out and he'll sleep there and think about his family and then he pulls him out of there? We'll see. I do think the cover story is a hint. Again, I think that would be cool. I'm not against that idea. What do we want? Said Sanji has been nerfing himself intentionally since he unlocked his Germa powers. That is true. He has. And with the cover page giving us the hint about his obstacle he needs to overcome, I think Cole was crashing and I'm waiting for Jay's response. Cole was crashing and I am waiting for Jay's response. To what? They both like Sanji. They're on my side. Cole and Jay are like me. They like Sanji. So I don't think they'd be crashing out over this. Unless he was just doing like what I was doing, being like, I told you all, you're stupid for disagreeing with me. I could see that happening. But no, I don't think Cole would have been crashing out over this. I should go watch his live reaction. See what he said about all this. I'm waiting for Jay's thoughts on it. Yeah, I think it's going to be good. I'm a diehard Zoro fan, but it feels like Sanji is now stronger than Zoro between the Conqueror's Haki and the Germa genes. All right, let's not. Locomotive, let's not go that far. Again, even playing field. I do think at the end of the day, Oda will always make it so that Zoro and Sanji are somewhat on an even level. Yeah. Yeah. Always, no matter what. There might be times where one is stronger than the other, but it will eventually fluctuate and they will even out. Yeah. I bet Cole went nuts with Sanji's Conqueror's Haki. Oh, I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did. We got another one from Shard Pop saying, do you think as part of removing his mental block, Sanji will become the new leader of Germa? No. No. I think the family thing that you guys brought up, I think could happen. I think nightmare versions of Germa could happen. But I do not think, no, that he will become king of the Germa. I think he wants nothing to do with that side of the family. I think he's fine with them now after Whole Cake, but he still is denouncing the Germa aspect of himself. Yeah. Also, thank you. I'm seeing lots of super chats coming through. We're going to read these in order, so don't worry. I will get to all of them. But thank you very much. Appreciate that. Thank you for all these super chats. This is great. What do we want? Again, super chatted and said, Sanji is known for his observation hockey. Mark my words, Roger, he will have future sight EOS and maybe black leg black flames. That would be cool. I would be cool, super cool. I mean, I do think that's kind of where it evens out, right? That Sanji has better observation and that Zoro has better armament, right? Because Zoro doesn't have a good sense of direction. Predictions kind of goes in line with that. But obviously is super strong, so he would have better armament than observation. But he has Conqueror's Haki. And Sanji has better observation and weaker armament, but also has Conqueror's Haki. And that's how they even out. I love that. Yeah. I absolutely believe will end up being the case. EOS. Yeah. Also, Professor Lovejoy said, did Sanji not prove himself on Whole Cake Island? We are looking at the future of the King of the Cooks, our very own Walter White. I think Sanji's cooking something different. You're thinking of something else. I don't think Sanji's in a trailer cooking up meth, but I do think the King of the Cooks, I like that. I think it also rolls off the tongue. King of the Gourmet, King of the whatever. Like, I don't know. I like the idea of like Sanji being the world's greatest chef, you know? With everything that's happened in the series, I like that as his future. Especially when you consider his dream of like cooking with the ingredients in the all blue. It just kind of lines up nice with it, you know? Let's see. Alistair super chatted and said, do you think there's any chance at all that Kendall was from the Long Arm tribe? What? Where is this coming from? Let me pull this back up. Hold on. The super chats were coming crazy and I missed this. Alistar said, is there any chance... Oh, no. Long Leg. Excuse me. Is there any chance at all that Kendall was Long Leg tribe? I know I'm super late on this, but Brook's time skip has always confused me. Everyone else's is skill related, and yet Brook started a band? Shouldn't he have studied demons in prep? Shouldn't he have studied demons in prep? I mean... Do we know exactly when Brook ate his devil fruit? Have we? I always forget. Do we have an exact marker for when he ate it? Because I don't think like he was saved from death, got stabbed through the skull in a way that wasn't going to kill him, and then all of a sudden started studying demons. You know what I mean? Like Brook has always been a musician. So it would make sense as he's going through his life that he would put together a band. Yeah. Oh, I think the chatter is referencing Time Skip Soul King. Oh. Well, he was captured, remember? He was captured by, like, the Satanists. Yeah. All we know was while he was a pirate. Also, Cole said, I told you so, crashing on the naysayers. Oh, I love it. Great. That's like how I was. Great. Perfect. Happy to hear it. Do I think that Kendall was Long Leg tribe, though? I don't think so. She would have had absurdly long legs at that point. She would have looked like Bluegilly. Whereas, again, I think Brook, like the fact that he's studying music to become the Soul King and was becoming a famous musician and like put together a band, I don't know, that tracks more in line with what we know about Brook. Also, I like what someone in my chat just said, that music is considered to be a gateway to the soul. I like that. I like that. So maybe he gets in touch with his soul by grooving out to music. I like that. Yeah. At some time before he left Asperia, and when he joined the Rumbar Pirates is probably when he ate the devil fruit. Do we know that, though? Brook practicing music is also the reason that Gunko found him again. Exactly. He was making his music tracks. She was listening to the Soul King. And there you go. It eventually brought him back. Yeah, but I don't think she was a member of the Long Leg tribe, to answer your question. Rob also said that maybe King of the Sea, since Sanji's goal is the all blue. No, because like the freest on the sea is the King of the Pirates, which is what Luffy has said time and time again. So King of the Sea would be King of the Pirates. I mean, I don't know though. I kind of like that. King of the Sea. Isn't that like what that one tuna brand is called? Or Chicken of the Sea? Right? To be called the King of the Sea, king of all the ingredients of the sea. I kind of like that. I actually like that. I don't hate that. Again, I think you guys might be onto something with the King of Heaven thing, but I don't know. It just seems kind of corny to me. I don't really love that. Of all the other titles, I would rather it be something else. So I'd rather it be King of the Sea. But no, I think people are probably right that it's going to be something like King of the Heavens. With like, you know, like loving the heavenly look of the ladies that he's in love with or something like that. King of the Sky, maybe. Still sounds a little bit corny. Yeah, I don't think he would be King of the Sky. I don't know. I really think like King of the Gourmet or King of the Cooks or something. Just kind of, it lines up more with his goal. I do think King of the Sea does line up more with like the cooking goal that we brought up earlier, though. Yeah. Or King of the Chefs, you know? Clack said maybe doubling what their king of helps. Zoro being both the king of hell or king of battle. Sanji maybe being king of the earth or king of the sea with the all blue. Luffy being king of the heavens, being the sun, and then pirates being freedom. King of love would also be perfect, though. Yeah, I think King of love, I think, could work. You know, it's funny. I'm watching Bleach right now. We're into the 1,000-Year Blood War. And who's the guy, the big fat dude, who sits on the cloud that essentially says he's the king of love? Who is a member of the, of what was his name? What are their names? I'm forgetting. Oh, I almost said the Espada. It's not the Espada. It's the, not Saren Dick either. I'm thinking Hunter x Hunter. What is the name of the group? The name of the group that Yuha Baha is part of. Pepe is who I'm thinking of. But what was his? Sternritters. Thank you. The Sternritters. Thank you. Thank you. The Sternritters. Thank you. Yes. I'm thinking of Pepe. I'm thinking of Pepe versus Sanji at one point. Exactly. The Sternritters. Thank you very much, everybody. Let me see. King of Wildfire also super chatted again and said, thoughts on Usopp being dressed like the god of war, Ragnar's former master, and Ragnar being near Usopp. I mean, I like the fact that Ragnar is now one step closer. I've always said that I think the pairing of like the hammer and Usopp and the ton hammer that we saw back in Thriller Bark would be a nice way to bring it all together and him becoming worthy of wielding the hammer. Obviously, Ragnar is massive, so I don't think Usopp could pick it up. But it could be something along the lines of what we got with, like Thor's hammer, right? Where Thor's hammer is super light. It doesn't feel like anything. So maybe that's like the magic of the hammer is, not Luffy, but Usopp's able to pick up Ragnar despite how huge it is because it's super light. That would be awesome, actually. I would love that. Yeah. That he finds Usopp worthy. I'd love that. Who would Usopp fight with that, though? I don't know. At this point, right, we've already got all the major fights lined up. We've got Gunko, we've got Emu, we've got Summers, and we've got Killingham. So who else would he fight? I don't know. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Let me see. Adagiris, I hope I'm saying your name right, said, I saw this on Twitter. I feel like Sanji's going to have a parallel name with Zoro's King of Hell, which is amazing if true, like King of the Heaven or Sky, brought up earlier. And in the fight with Sanji clearing the rain, and we could see the bright sky, a.k.a. the heavens. Ooh. Okay, you just sold me on it not being cringy. You literally just sold me on it. I love the idea of him fighting through the storm. Zaza disintegrates. He takes down Killingham. The sky's clear. Sanji standing in the middle of all of Elbaf, smoking his cigarette with the clear skies, and you see, boom, King of the Heavens, Sanji. That actually could work. I like that. That's the first one of these King of the Heaven things that I actually connected with, because I could visualize it. I think the key with anything when it comes to One Piece is like thinking, what would Oda do? How would this look if Oda was to draw it? It really is all down to the execution. Absolutely. But that sounds great, actually. If we got a good moment of Sanji there, standing underneath the clear skies as the King of the Heavens, that would be nice. Surrounded by the lovely ladies, surrounded by Ripley and Zaza. Well, Zaza would have to disintegrate for the storm to go away, so it wouldn't be Zaza. But still, I like that. I actually really like that. And you could also, again, I think the King of Love, King of the Heavens thing could be one and the same, you know? I like it. Yeah, King of Love would be perfect. I also have another idea of the king of idea that you brought up earlier. This comes from Matrunks. Okay, Matrunks said, Luffy is the king of the pirates. Zoro could be the king of hell. Sanji is the king of love. Nami is the queen of storms. Usopp is the king of lies. Chopper is the king of medicine. Robin is the queen of knowledge. Frankie is the king of cola. And obviously Brook is already the Soul King, with Jinbei being what was brought up earlier, the king of the sea. I'm going to tell you right now, they are not all going to have Conqueror's Haki. That I feel very strongly about. I feel like not every member of the Straw Hat crew needs nor will have Conqueror's Haki by the end. But I think the Monster Trio has got to have it. I think if anyone else is going to unlock it within themselves, I really think it's Usopp. I do. I think Usopp is kind of the only other one that makes a lot of sense to me. Just like lying his way upwards, messing it up a little bit. I do think Nami could as well, for context. I mean, I would say Nami and Usopp are the two, right? He already is the king of the snipers as well. Right. I don't know. Something about Usopp's story. I think I even did a video way back when about like the idea of Usopp having Conqueror's Haki. I don't know. It just makes sense to me. It would make sense to me that he would have it and like be able to infuse the Conqueror's Haki in bullets. Yeah, and again, he's already the king of the snipers. I kind of like that. Yeah. Phoenix said, you should A-B test the thumbnail with you in the corner rooting for either combatant. No, thanks. I'm not going to do that. I'm not doing that. I have to change a lot of stuff. I don't want that. I also don't have the individual pieces, so I don't really want that. Yeah. Because then it would split things up and people would be upset at me. So I like it having both of them. I like it having both. Maybe if we see Usopp wielding Ragnar, that would be cool. Yeah, that would be cool. But yeah, Nami, I don't know. Nami's always seen as like the mom of the crew, right? She's always able to slap down different characters when they're acting out of line. So I could see Nami having it as well. But again, queen of, what did you call her? Queen of the Storms? That's interesting.
Keep me company for a while. There'll be plenty of time for work.
I don't know though. I don't buy Nami getting it as much as Usopp getting it. But again, I feel like the three that just made sense were Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji, and now we're here, you know? Honestly surprised we haven't seen Armament Haki bullets yet. We'll get there. Don't worry. We'll get there. King to Wildfire said Sanji could maybe be king of the skies since he can skywalk, and it could be tribute to his mom, Sora, which also translates to sky, which actually could also pair really nicely with the heavens thing. So, you know, the more you guys are talking about it, the more you're selling me on the king of the heavens thing. I did think it was cringy at first, but now that I'm thinking about the parallels, yeah, you're right. With Sora, and then like the idea of the storm clearing, and heaven being love, and the love for the ladies, I do. And then him being like he's in heaven whenever he sees a pretty woman. I like it. I like it. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I can get with it now. For a little bit there, though, I wasn't. But I can see it now. As we talked our way through it, I could see it, and I am now a fan. See, who says that I just stick to my guns and I can't come around to something? You guys talked me through it, and now I like it. Though you're right that two things can be real at the same time, that it could be done cringe or it could be heavenly. Yeah, we'll see. Also, I looked it up, and Brook already had his devil fruit when he was with the Rumbar Pirates. So you're right, he obtained it sometime between the flashback and the one we knew from Thriller Bark. Okay. Also, Sadabo said he definitely is going to be the Cook King. See, I also think that's the other thing that's cute with it, right? Is they could do some play on being, cooking, the king of the cooks, the king of the chefs. I like it. I like it. I like it. Well, this was a solid chapter, man. I mean, I obviously loved this one. I had a great time. I want to give a massive shout out once again to everybody who was here this morning, hanging out with me, having a great time. I am actually so interested to watch other people's reactions to this chapter. I think it could be cool. Yeah. Oh, no, we got one more. Hold on. I missed one super chat. Hold on. I missed one. Hold on. This one comes from AK3099, who said if Sanji's self-doubt serves as his own personal prison or hell, maybe his new Diable Jambe will be named after Satan's name, in which when he lived... Oh! Oh, you're cooking. I love this. AK said, if Sanji's self-doubt serves as his own personal prisoner hell, his new Diable Jambe will be named after Satan's name from when he lived in heaven, something like Lucifer Jambe. I like that. I like that, actually. Ooh, yeah, like fallen from heaven, ooh, that's a banger, actually. I like the idea of like falling from heaven or falling from grace. Dude, I dig that, man. I really, really like that. Yes, 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 yes. I love that. Good call. Yeah, Lucifer Jambe is actually great. I love that. Also, Scuba. Yo, a lot of people are super chatting. Clax also just said, there were more super chats here than the entire Brooke flashback, I think. Take care. I think you are correct. Again, this is what I was saying during my review, right? That, like, it is clear that this moment, this Sanji, like, Conqueror's Haki moment, is probably going to pull some people back who are more casual readers, who are super hype for what's happening here. I agree. Again, you can see it again, super chats and everything. You can see it. That was clutch, by the way. Also, Scuba super chatted and said, the last panel, Emu versus Luffy, was wording from far away. If the words merge into one visual shape up close, they separate into cool illustrated words. Wait, what? Let me see this. Hold on, let me go back to my manga reaction one. What are you talking about? The last panel, Emu versus Luffy wording from far away, the words merge into one visual shape. Up close, they separate into individual words. What do you mean? I'm looking at this from far away. Do you just mean like the way that it's laid out on the screen? I also just want to say that I think lore piece is best piece. Oh, I totally agree. Also, Dow asked in the chat, am I going to be reacting to the new Hunter x Hunter chapter? Yes, tomorrow. Actually, a couple things to note real quick. I have a lot of things actually to talk about at the end of this. First off, tonight, there's going to be a very special stream. So be on the lookout. There is going to be a very special One Piece themed stream tonight that is going to announce the next date of the Reverie. We are doing that tonight. It is going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to have a lot of special guests. So be on the lookout. Very special One Piece stream happening tonight. More information soon. I'll probably make a thumbnail before I leave and go set everything up. But there's going to be a big One Piece stream. Tomorrow, we are going to be reacting to the new Hunter x Hunter chapter. We're going to be watching the first episode of Ladies Don't Play Fighting Games, which is one of the few anime coming up this season that I'm actually interested in. We're going to watch the new Ghost in the Shell's first episode as well. And we are going to do Bleach reactions. And we are going to read Hunter x Hunter. So we are doing like a big anime reaction stream tomorrow on Twitch. After we've done chapter 1 of Deltarune during the day. So I have like 3 streams set up both today and tomorrow. You're getting triple streams because you're getting One Piece right now. We're about to go over on Twitch to go do the Fatal Fury one. And then you're going to get another stream later tonight at 6 p.m. my time, approximately, around then. Then tomorrow, we're going to do Deltarune in the morning. Then we're going to do, in the evening, anime reactions as the lead-in to Japan time, which will then be tomorrow night. So again, 3. You're getting 6 different streams from me, all within the next 48 hours. It is a packed 48 hours, but it is a good 48 hours. But I'm locking in a lot of content. The other thing that I want to bring up, today, right now, if you want to continue the conversation, you want to keep talking about One Piece, keep doing a bunch of stuff, I am going to be live on twitch.tv/RogersBase momentarily. I will be live in like literally 10 minutes. I just got to put up the thumbnail and do the timestamps. I'll be live in about 10 minutes. We're going to continue the conversation. We're going to be playing Kenshiro from Fist of the North Star in Fatal Fury. They just added that. I set up my whole stream. We're going to be doing viewer matches. We're going to be hanging out. We're going to be having a good time. That is all going to be happening on Twitch right after this. So if one of my moderators could put twitch.tv/RogersBase and pin it, let people know that's where we're going to be going. I'll raid myself. But we're going to continue the One Piece conversation there. Here we go. Twitch.tv/RogersBase. There you are. Pin that. Make sure to enter there. We're going to keep this going. And in about 5 minutes, we're going to go live there. But once again, massive shout out, everybody coming back to the stream today. This was a great chapter. Lots of good stuff. Happy to see that Sanji finally has Conqueror's Haki. It's been far too long that I've been fighting with people about it, but we're here. I'll do the timestamps. I'll put up the thumbnail. I'll go live on Twitch. We'll be live in like 15 minutes. So just head on over there. Get yourself a cup of coffee. We're continuing the fun today. Thanks to SNK sponsoring the stream. And yeah, I will see you on over there. All right. Goodbye, everybody. I will see you in like 10 minutes. Bye, everyone.